औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। आज के दूसरे सेशन के अंदर आप तमाम हजरात को खुशामदीद कहते हैं। आज के इस प्रोग्राम का आगाज़ अल्लाह जल्ल शानहू के पाक कलाम से करते हैं। तिलावत कुरान मजीद के लिए मैं दावत देता हूँ शेरान निसार साहब को, वो यहाँ तशरीफ़ लाएँ और वो सूरे वाक़िया की इंशाअल्लाह तिलावत फरमाएंगे।
अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। इज़ा वक़अतिल वाक़िअह लैसा लिवक़अतिहा काज़िबह ख़ाफ़िज़तुन राफ़िअह। इज़ा रुज्जतिल अर्ज़ु रज्जा वबुस्सतिल जिबालु बस्सा फकानत हबाअन मुन्बस्सा वकुन्तुम अज़वाजन सलासा फ़अस्हाबुल मैमनति मा अस्हाबुल मैमनह वअस्हाबुल मशअमति मा अस्हाबुल मशअमह वस्साबिकून अस्साबिकून उलाइकल मुक़र्रबून फ़ी जन्नातिन नईम सुल्लतुम मिनल अव्वलीन वक़लीलुम मिनल आख़िरीन अला सुरुरिन मौनूनह मुत्तकीन अलैहा मुतक़ाबिलीन यतूफ़ु अलैहिम विल्दानुन मुख़ल्लदून बिअक्वाब वअबारीक वकअसिन मिन मईन ला युसद्दऊन अन्हा वला युनज़िफून वफ़ाकिहतिन मिम्मा यतज़क्करून। सदक़ल्लाहुल अज़ीम।
कल जो हमारी वर्कशॉप हुई थी, हमने 4 उसके स्टेशन बनाए थे। तो आज हमारी गुजारिश है कि अपने उन मुअज़्ज़ज़ मेहमानों को जिन्होंने उस प्रोग्राम को कोऑर्डिनेट किया था, नो kommer våre gjester, de som koordinerte de stasjonene, og de skal snakke 5 minutter av hver. Først og fremst da ber jeg imam Hamid Ali Farouk sahab at han kommer her og legger frem
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Innalhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Først og fremst vi takker Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala som har gitt oss mulighet til å være her i dag. Og vi takker Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for å velge oss å være blant de som sitter i Allahs hus, og være en del av en organisasjon, deres mål, og styrke sin forhold med Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, og gjøre mest mulig for å praktisere Koran og Sunnah. Temaet vi diskuterte i går i workshop, det var implementation of Islamic movement. Og jeg sa til de som var til stede at det er veldig farlig tema, ikke snakke om det på gata med andre folk. Fordi når du sier implementation of Islamic movement, så med en gang kommer i bildet ISIS og implementation of Sharia og slike temaer. Khair, vi snakket om hva Islamic movement i teorien. Vi diskuterte litt om hva movement og hva Islamic. Og deretter vi diskuterte om hovedegenskaper for en Islamic movement. Og tredje ting vi diskuterte hvorfor jeg skal være en del av Islamic movement. Hvordan jeg kan praktisere eller være aktiv i en organisasjon som er en Islamic movement. Så når vi snakket om Islamic movement, så det var det 3 hovedpunkter vi snakket om. Det første, at movement betyr en bevegelse, og det er kollektivt arbeid, det er ikke individsarbeid, det er en kollektiv arbeid. Og tredje ting, at det er for en felles mål. Og felles mål for en Islamic movement, det er veldig klart at vi skal etablere Allahs din. Og hvordan vi skal etablere Allahs din, der vi trenger litt forståelse, spesielt i kontekst der vi bor i. Så aqimus salat, det er en beordring fra Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala som ble gitt mange ganger i Koran til enhver muslim. Så vi er beordret fra Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala å gjøre eller å etablere Allahs din på hvilken grad vi kan gjøre det. Så derfor det er ikke riktig å forstå at iqamat din betyr bare å ha regjering, islamsk regjering eller regjering for en islamisk stat, men det er å implementere din i min personlige liv og de som er rundt meg, og spre ordet eller spre budskapet som handler om din jeg praktiserer. Så det er det iqama for oss i Norge. Og deretter diskuterte vi om egenskaper vi har i Islamic Movement, og tre main topics vi diskuterte. Det var første om at grunnleggende i Islamic Movement det er Koran og Sunna. Det er ikke basert på en person eller en bok. Det er bare Koran og Sunna som er grunnleggende. Så de skal jobbe innen rammer av Koran og Sunna, og de skal ikke være følgere av en person, slik vi har mange andre organisasjoner som har en person, de følger dem. Så Koran og Sunna, det er det grunnleggende og hovedting for oss i en Islamic Movement. Derfor vi kan ikke si at vi er følgere av en bestemt person. Vi er følgere av Islam og kjære profet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Og den andre ting, at det er ikke basert på en bestemt school of thought. Det er ikke Hanafi, det er ikke Maliki, det er ikke Shafi'i, det er ikke Deobandi eller Hadith, Brelvi, Shia, Sunni. Så den er ikke basert på slike grupperinger vi har blant muslimer. Den er basert på fellesmål vi har, og det er å etablere Allahs din. Og de som er enige med denne målen, og de vil jobbe for denne, de er velkommen, og de kan være en del av Islamic Movement. Og den tredje ting vi diskuterte, eller tredje punkt under egenskaper, det var demokrati. At en Islamic Movement er demokratisk system, det er shura-system vi har i islam. Det er mange ting som er felles blant islamske shura-system og demokrati, eller europeiske demokrati vi har i dag. Og det er en del ting der vi er forskjellige fra demokrati av vestens kontekst. For eksempel i Europas demokratisk definisjon, de fleste bestemmer for en ting, og det skal implementeres. Men det er ikke slik i islamske shura eller islamske demokrati. Hvis de fleste bestemmer for en ting som er i strid med Koran og Sunna, det skal ikke implementeres. Så vi skal være i rammer av Koran og Sunna. Og hvis det er enighet blant de fleste om en ting, så vi skal jobbe for det. Derfor i en Islamic Movement, de jobber for fellesmål og forståelse av de fleste av en sak. Det er ikke mulig for meg som en person at jeg kommer i en islamsk bevegelse eller islamsk movement og jobber for min egen agenda. Eller for eksempel hvis jeg er leder og har en bestemt retning eller forståelse av saken, så skal kjøre hele bevegelse bak meg. Det er ikke mulig. Derfor shura er veldig viktig for en Islamic Movement. Derfor de velger hvert år eller hver andre år eller hver fjerde år en ny leder og en ny shura. Så demokrati det er en grunnleggende i egenskaper i islamske bevegelse eller Islamic Movement. Siste ting vi diskuterte, det var om hvorfor jeg skal være en del av Islamic Movement. Det er 4 hovedting vi hadde. Første, å oppnå Allahs fornøyelse, Allahs riza. Allah ki raza jo hai, ye sabse pehla aur sabse ahem एक मोल या मकसद है किसी भी तंजीम या इस्लामिक मूवमेंट के अंदर अपने आप को एक्टिव करने के लिए. Another thing we diskuterte det er tazkiya, utvikle seg personlig og være nær til Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fordi Islamic Movement arrangerer kurs, seminarer, forskjellige typer foredrager for å hjelpe meg å være nær til Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Og rense min hjerte fra dårlige gjerninger, fra dårlige tanker. Det er det tazkiya vi snakket om i går. Tredje ting, det er at det er krav fra islam. Det er mange hadis fra Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam der han nevnte at det er på en måte obligatorisk for oss å være en del av jama'a. Aleikum bil jama'a. Det er ikke valg. Det er på en måte obligatorisk for enhver muslim å være en del av jama'a. Fordi de som er ikke med jama'a, det er veldig lett for shaitan, djevelen, å villede dem. Å føre dem til de tingene som Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ikke liker. Og siste ting vi nevnte, hvorfor jeg skal være en del av en fellesskap eller en islamsk bevegelse, for å bidra med jeg kan, slik at vi har et samfunn der vi kan bo i harmoni og i fred. Det var det oppsummering for 35 minutter vi diskuterte i workshop. Jazakallah khair.
Da ber jeg vår ærede gjest og Madram Murasab. Hans tema var muslimer i det kaotiske verden, og han legger frem noen oppsummering, inshallah.
Okay, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Yes, so I hope that we come to the conclusion of the program at the beginning of the work when we reach the end of the day. That's how we started not to call these concluding sessions, but beginning sessions, inshallah. So one of the very good things we did yesterday was these workshops. The idea was to develop some solutions, and one of the first things I did is to discuss with all of you as to what workshop means. And workshop should be about bringing our ideas, our experiences, our thoughts, our perceptions. A lot of them developed by Tawfiq of Allah, and a lot of them are our own thinking and analysis, and then try to solve the problems we face and come with some practical ideas which can be incorporated into work plans for ourselves, individual. You may take one thing, I'll do this from today, or you could campaign or advocate for policy for this country and mobilize people to bring about a change in the Norwegian society and government. So the range is from beginning from the individual to as big as you want to think. And these should be the products of our workshops. That's something we should practice regularly, inshallah. Okay, so our theme was living as Muslim in troubling world. And one of the things we discussed is, first of all, we divided the whole challenge into by addressing 3 questions. First was, what is troubling us about the world? Okay, the second one was, if this is such a troubled world, let's look at within ourselves, what are our internal problems and challenges which we can address to be able to solve those issues and problems that trouble us. And then we asked the third question, what would success look like if we were to solve them, if you were to dream about a tomorrow, and without a dream you don't achieve anything. If you were to dream about a tomorrow, what does your dream is for Norway? And if you remember my talk yesterday, Prophet ﷺ had a wonderful dream that even when persecution was so intense in Mecca, that a companion came, Khabbab bin Arat radiallahu anhu, and he said, please pray for victory, we can't take it anymore. And he shared his dream, no, wait, be patient, a lot more has to be done. And his dream was a traveler being able to travel from Sana'a to Hadramaut without the fear of anyone. What a dream. But that was the definition of completion of Allah's mission. It wasn't that there will be so many more masajid, so many more this and that, but dream is very important. So the third question is that we asked you, what does success look like for you in Norway? What dream do we live for which we'll give everything, our time to come here, our resources, change career perhaps, bring up our children to live for that dream, and so on. So the first question, what's troubling us about the world? So I wanted to find out and gauge, are we really troubled and bothered? And it was very interesting because, we had people who were worried about lots of things outside in the world, political issues, injustices, climate issues, problems. Eric was very bothered about the fact that we are over-consuming and dumping plastics in Indonesia, which is killing and creating diseases for Muslim children there. A big report last week, BBC documentary about it. And others who were also worried about losing of faith within our young people, becoming more secularized, more atheistic perhaps, conflicting values we confront every day, the values we hold dear and values which society carries, Islamophobia, hatred of Islam and media bias that we experience on a daily basis, and a general disintegration of family and moral values came up, mental health issues came up, and so on. But interestingly, it was that as we were approaching towards the end of the day, people were more comfortable about the world. Last group kind of said, look, we're living in a reasonably very good world. We're not really that bothered. We are happy with the world as it is. So very interesting. And I think my conclusion would be that, starting from faith perspective, and Maulana Hamid talked about the establishment of Islamic movement. The basic sense of Islamic movement is based on the fact, and which was also main point of my speech, is that the world is a very troubled place. From Islamic perspective, there are a lot of wrongs, a lot of injustices, and unless we develop that pain, we will be left, a lot of this will be left as theories. And the muhla and the time Allah has given us may run out. And how we develop that pain, that sense of pain. Without that pain, we don't do much. So pain is important, and that comes with raised awareness and consciousness, and about love of Allah and bringing His family back to Allah. That's it. That's the only pain that we need to carry. We love Him and He loves His family, and we have His guidance. The book sitting in our houses, we can kiss it, read it, but this book is the property of humanity. It's an amana of humanity. It needs to reach there, and we need to take it. And we will. This is the main question on the Day of Judgment. I did share this, that we all get exam papers, and all of them said many exams. There are questions which carry 50 marks, and those which 2 and 3 and 4. And I think if we don't attend to this, we may have answered 2-mark question, 1-mark question. We're good at it. We fight a lot about those questions, which carry 2, 1, 3 short questions. Getting salah. All these salah is, I think, a bit more. But the first question will be on the Day of Judgment. Will be وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ. After the description of Qiyamah, as we know, Surah Takwir, this massive blast and destruction, what's the first question? It's not to us. Allah is asking the first question to this little baby girl who was killed through a social injustice, social unjust practice. Allah says, وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ. Why were you killed? So what happened to our pain? So many children around the world dying, so much injustice around the world. So we need to heighten that sense. So that was my conclusion, that we need to. The second was internal challenges. Again, very interesting. Our sisters and mothers quite correctly are concerned about home, about children, about children going different directions, generational communication gap that bothers us, obviously, because we cannot communicate at the same level anymore. Leadership, ineffective leadership, or practically, as some people say, no leadership as such for the community. Weak, we feel weak, we are vulnerable, we are on the defense. There's another internal weakness. So these are some of the areas that came up. And lack of youth participation was also very important. And when it came to success, I'll just round up quickly because I know it's been only 5 minutes. But when it came to success, I think one of the pictures, which was nice picture people painted, was that society understands us better. A better awareness of Islam, positive perception of Islam, youth engagement and involvement and leadership, and better family relations and communication and so on. So I would say for success, I think we can think in terms of the most important thing would be is develop people who have that sense of pain. And I said competence and engagement with society. You know, we can live in our shells, but as we know, Musa alayhi salam was told to go nowhere except idhab ila Fir'aun. go to the mighty Fir'aun who is doing this massive injustice. Unthinkable. And he was very scared. He was very worried. And he asked for help. So Allah gave him help. And that's where Jamaat starts. Harun, a brother. That's why you need to be collective body. You need to have organizations, projects. And with that, now go to Fir'aun. Still he was very worried. Taught him a dua. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. But go. So we will feel the pressure. Nothing bad about it. It's good. Feel, be scared. but have to do the job. And as someone said, the greatest bliss is just after your greatest fear. So live the greatest fear. Then the bliss will be incredible, inshallah. Allah will open the doors. So success is there. And final point, you know, we are, my son who does anthropology, he comments, and only last night he commented something which was interesting. He said, there you go, we are consumers again. You're always consumers, never producers. And so we need to go from, we consume ideas, products, science, technology. Most things we consume are created, defined, shaped. The telephones, the apps, everything is created by the world for us. We have to become producers. When we shift from consumers to producers and from receiving to giving, then I think this is what we came for. Ukhrijat linnas, brought out to give to mankind. And so we need to create that success as Muslims living in a troubled world. Start thinking of giving, the world will become a better place.
Vår nästa gäst är syster Abida Ashraf. तो हमारी जो अगली मेहमान है वो मोहतरमा आबिदा अशरफ साहिब हैं। उनका कल का जो थीमा था कि इज्तिमाइयत के अंदर जो इखलाकी क़ुव्वत है वो उनका थीमा था और उस पर उन्होंने अपने ग्रुप के साथ बात की। तो यह है, अब देखिए।
Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters. I would like to thank the organisers for giving me the opportunity to come to your beautiful country in this beautiful masjid. It was a pleasure and really engaging with everybody, the young and the old. My topic was the power of collective morality. So I began my discussion by asking the groups to define what is morality, what do they consider as morality, and then what do we mean by collective morality. And also, another point to put forward to them was, is faith essential to have moral values? Okay? Then we discussed that, we looked at the fact that man-made morals will change over time, and the morals given to us by the Quran and the Sunnah have timeless perfection, they're for all times and ages. So that's where we need to turn to for our moral values. And then we looked at what the effects would be of collective morality as an individual, on our families and on our society. My message really was that we have to change ourselves and we can change the world. So it's not about telling people about Islam, it's about showing people Islam through our character, the way we engage in the communities. I give the example of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, of the Sahaba, how they didn't cut off from the environment they lived in. Especially if you look at the Makkah era, it was all about Tarbiah and Tazkiyah, of actually before self-reformation. So I asked the group to focus on that, we had discussions, and then we looked at present-day situations. I gave them some brief case studies, and it was quite pleasing to see that the groups all engaged. It was a mixture of brothers and sisters, young and old. The sisters did outnumber the brothers. However, I would like to say that the brothers fully participated, And I was very pleased with the elders as well. Overall, I think the whole discussion was quite engaging for everybody. I hope it was anyway. I found it quite interesting, and I just hope that the message I wanted to give them, that the fact that we have to work on ourselves, engage with the community that we live in. And like I said, go back to the example of Prophet ﷺ. I did, however, feel that perhaps the time constraint, and maybe that's my own fault, I felt I wasn't able to give the participants enough time to give the discussions, because I felt they had a lot to say. However, due to the kind of time constraint, we had to move forward. I would recommend perhaps in future events give a slightly longer time for the workshops, and I think that would be beneficial for the attendees as well as the conductors. Finally, I would just like to say, going forward, because obviously these sort of events, it shouldn't stop here, like Mother said earlier, this is just the beginning. Going forward, you should carry on providing such events where families can come together, and I think building those bridges between the young and the old. What's happening in the UK, I was so pleased to see actually here that our elders, they could speak the language, Norwegian, and I'm not so sure whether young people are fluent in the Urdu or not. However, the fact there should be communication there. What started happening is that there seems to be a gap now in the UK between the Urdu-speaking generation and the English-speaking generation, and because of that, there's a barrier. And I want to say to you, don't make that mistake. We are addressing it now. So don't make that mistake, because we need to learn from each other. We need to have these get-togethers where you can discuss openly, and you should be able to speak openly. The youth should be able to give their viewpoint. And Alhamdulillah, they were yesterday. And it's pleasing to see that the elders were also engaging and listening and giving their viewpoint. So I think for the youth, I would say perhaps of topics such as leadership for the youth, leadership skills, looking at the seerah, and then identity issues. I know, as I myself have grown up in the UK, we can have so many identity issues. We need to instill in them the confidence, make them future leaders so they can carry on this work. And I think that elders have a lot to contribute in this. We recently had an event in Leicester at Markfield, and we had a speaker there who spoke on apathy and extremism. And I think such topics are so relevant in this day and age. We do have we see this divide where some Muslims are just turning away, and then there's the other where people are very extremist views. We have to bring that balance back, and I think that's what I was trying to address, that morality, because that morality given to us through Islam is balanced, it is the middle path, and that's what we need to do, and we have to start with ourselves. Jazakallah khair.
हमारे जो साथी हैं उन्होंने पीछे फ्रुट वगैरह लगा दिया, तो आप साथ साथ खुद ही उठ के जाके वो लेते रहे जितनी आपकी ज़रूरत है. Vi har organisert litt frukt og drikke, så ved behov så bare gå tilbake og hente den. Det er 2 bord på begge sider, en på kvinnesiden og en på mennsiden. Nå kommer bror Assalam, og han skal snakke om ICC i 2030.
Klar? Ja. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Siste gruppen var en oppsummering av ICC 2030. Det som er spennende er at første tilbakemeldingen vi fikk, det var at vi hadde alt for dårlig tid. Vi hadde mange flotte tegninger. Jeg skal vise det på skjermen etterpå også, men som dere ser så var det 3-4 store temaer som dette her er typisk. Jeg vil tippe at dette her er en jentegruppe. Eldre gruppene var annerledes, det var skriftlig stort sett, men vi hadde veldig mange flotte tegninger som jeg skal gå inn på etter hvert da. Og det som vi har lagt merke til er at den gruppen som hadde mest tid, det var gruppe nummer 3 som jobbet med, som hadde rundt Maghrib-tider. De hadde cirka en time på grunn av pausen. Og så ser vi en blomst hvor det kommer en del ideer. Jeg skal gå inn på dette her også. Jeg tenkte det var et flott initiativ og veldig, veldig bra arbeid. Det vi ser er at skole og litteratur, det kommer opp, altså kunnskap, dialog, dialog ser dere også ganske høyt oppe. Aqida kom opp et par ganger. Ungdom, Aqida, så mente man utdannelse i den islamske kunnskapen. Det de samme tingene som de fleste gruppene tok med som de viktigste. Og veldig mange av diskusjonen gikk også inn på det viktigste. Og så har jeg sikkert glemt noe, fordi at vi oppsummerte etter gruppeoppgaven i går kveld. Det beklager jeg, men vi skal jobbe videre med alle sammen, så vi har spart på alle tegningene og lagt inn oppsummert. Så det jeg tar med nå, det bare de viktigste tingene som kom opp flest ganger. Var det klart? Bra. Skole og utdanning kom opp desidert flest ganger, men det kom ut på litt ulike måter. Dere husker oppgaven, det var å se frem til 2030 og se på hva det vi mangler, og hva det vi kan bli bedre på, og hvordan ICC bør se ut i 2030. Så skolen og kunnskap var viktig. Så de ønsket skole, utdanning på alle nivå, altså fra barneskolen til toppledernivå. Fokus på islam, samfunnskunnskap kom flere ganger. Noen ganger som en del av samfunnsengasjement, andre ganger bare som en del av ICCs oppgaver. Det var to ting som kom opp, tre av gruppene tok opp dette her. Husk at veldig mange av gruppene ble delt i flere grupper, så vi hadde ca. 12 grupper som presenterte. Center of Excellence, med et fokus på høyere studier. Islamic Institute of Scandinavia kom opp i en annen gruppe, og de ønsket også fokus på akademia. Altså, jeg var avlokket gruppeta, behenlokket gruppeta i den Islamic Institute, bare si fra hvis det noe jeg glemmer. Og tanken var white papers, books, digital platforms, gaming, og tanken hele tiden var å bli flinke innenfor akademia, sånn at det våre papirer som forteller videre. Et eksempel type Holocaust-senteret som lager rapporter om muslimer i dag. Men hvorfor lager ikke vi den type ting? Det kom opp i flere grupper. Imamutdanning i Norge var viktig for å utdanne norske imamer. Vi ønsket imamer som kunne det norske samfunnet. Det var flere som var bekymret Ahmed Bey for at de mister imamer for fort. Det var ledelsesfokus, og det var av kjærlighet. Ledelsesfokus, legg merke til forskjellen her. De første kursene dreide seg om islam, opplæring av barn, kunnskap og så videre. Det andre egentlig management training av våre ledere. Så diskusjonen her, og det var det flere som tok opp, det var at, la oss si at du får flere nye styremedlemmer, vi får flere nye folk som med i administrasjon, flere nye aktive, at de får en ordentlig management training sånn at moskeen styres bedre. Og coaching av folk som har erfaring fra ICC, som kan lære bort sine kunnskaper til andre. Dyktige ledere, her ble fokus omvendt, det var å hente inn folk. Vi har mange allerede flinke folk, men det veldig mange flinke folk der ute som ikke aktive i moskeen. De må vi hente inn. Som muslimer, som kanskje jobber i ulike selskaper, ulike forskningsinstitutter, som vi kan hente inn til ICC for å bruke deres kompetanse og aktivere her. Forskere, ledere og så videre. Den siste biten på den skoleringen, det at vi må ha klare visjoner for hva vi ønsker i ICC, med målsetting og virksomhetsstyring, sånn at vi leder mot de målene som vi setter oss. Og så kom samarbeid med muslimske institusjoner, andre muslimske moskeer og paraplyorganisasjoner kom frem flere ganger. Media også noe veldig mange tok opp, og med det på tanke for trening, fokus, samarbeid med medieinstitusjoner, hvor man diskuterte hvordan vi kan bli mer aktive i media. Det var et behov. Digitalisering kom frem også i veldig mange av gruppene, uten at det betydde det samme nødvendigvis, men noe av tanken var at det skulle være interaktiv. Gaming kom opp flere ganger. Kursing innenfor digitalisering av den kompetansen vi har i dag, både i form av litteratur, men også i form av trening. For eksempel så var det en gruppe som nevnte type online koranopplæring via moskeen, for eksempel. Og så var det entreprenørskap, den kom også inn, uten at jeg vet hva det handlet om. Et par ting til. Folk ønsket mer åpenhet. De sa at ICC var en åpen moské, men styret fikk helt klar tilbakemeldinger om at man ønsket et flerkulturelt styre og kvinnedeltagelse i styrene og ledelsen. Samfunnsdeltagelse, politisk deltagelse. Det var et spørsmål at folk skulle delta mye mer i samfunnet, også i politikken. Og så var det den siste gruppen, eller det var veldig mange som tok opp familie. Og det var veldig interessant, for det var litt annerledes enn de andre temaene. De andre temaene var veldig fokusert på hvordan ICC skulle bli flinkere. Dette her var mye mer et mykere mål, som er viktig. Og det var fokus på ungdom, barnevern, fosterfamilier, felles programmer for begge kjønn. Litt sånn som vi har gjort det i dag, og grunnen til at det kom opp var at man ønsket at barn kunne være med. Og tanken var at enten så blir mannen bort en dag, eller så blir kona bort en dag, og ellers er barna bort en dag på et barneprogram for eksempel. Felles programmer for alle sammen var veldig, veldig interessant for mange. Familiedag. Og så var det en gruppe som tok opp dette her. Det synes jeg var litt viktig, ta vare på de etterlatte. Det er veldig mange som har gått bort de siste 20-30 årene, og så mister vi de etterlatte også. At familien til de som har gått bort, de glemmer vi. Så familien til Rukken som har gått bort, er det viktig å ta vare på. Og så er den siste, det var ICC nasjonal, eller internasjonal for den saken skyld. Flere filialer, og da fikk jeg beskjed om å skrive at det skulle være mange flere filialer. Man ønsket å utvide, og da tenkte man ikke bare på ICC Alna eller Bjørndal, man tenkte Bergen, ja, Trondheim, Narvik og så videre. Der det er muslimer. Det var det jeg hadde.
अभी जो अरसलान भाई ने सारी प्रेजेंटेशन लेके फ्रेम किया, bare husk på ICC bare et organisasjon med begrenset ressurser, med penger, med folk. Mange som hadde ønsket noen oppgaver som egentlig staten bør gjøre det. Og noen oppgaver er det som tilhører til paraplyorganisasjoner, sånn MDN, IRN. Og selvfølgelig da er det resten, det er til ICC. Men igjen må vi filtrere og plukke opp på det som er viktig, og hva vi har kapasitet til å gjøre det. तो आपकी जितनी ख्वाहिशात हैं वो हमने नोटेरे कर ली हैं, और आपकी जितनी बाकी मेलिंगर है यकीनन हमारे लिए काबिल एहतराम है. इससे पहले भी जो वर्कशॉप्स होती हैं उसके अंदर से हम चीज़ें उपयोग करते हैं, og vi prøver å gjøre vårt beste. Neste tema var det at jeg ber ære gjest Farouk Murad. Han kommer til å snakke om en case inn i Storbritannia. मोहतरम फारूक मुराद साहब जो है यूके के अंदर कोई एक केस स्टडी जो है वो आपके सामने रखेंगे. Så både मोहतरम फारूक मुराद साहब og Furkan भाई de kommer her, og de kommer til å svare alle de spørsmålene dere kommer til å stille.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Once again, I'm back with you, alhamdulillah. Now, case study normally is something you actually do research and look at how things were done and how things should have been and not done. So I kept asking Zimran as to what do you mean by case study here? What would you like me to do? We said share maybe some projects, some work that we've done in the UK, which could be useful to consider for Norway. So in a very short time, the 2 or 3 things that came to my mind, I think it's coming out of the workshop we had, where we looked at what does success look like for us. And one of the areas which came up was youth engagement. And I think when we discussed this program, that was also highlighted as a major issue. And I think it is an issue really for all organizations, is to see how we can bring in, empower, involve next generation. So there we have done some leadership programs in UK which have had good output. MCB used to do Muslim leadership program, and that was very helpful in trying to engage people. So I asked as to what kind of leadership program is done, and I think the way the project is to be done is that, and I was also part of Citizens UK, which is a major broad-based community organization. And I think if there's something in Norway, I think citizens are present in Norway. ICC is part of it. No, but it's called broad-based community organizing idea, which is that the politics of the mainstream parties, But our involvement with that politics is that we go and vote once in 4 years, okay? And then we are not participating. But broad-based community organizing, a concept that started in USA, in Chicago, and one of the first organizers of this organization was Barack Obama. After he did his degree, he was one of the community organizers in Chicago, and he got his training with that. And I was trustee of the same organization in the UK because we joined with broad-based community organizing and developed the whole idea of the helpful fudul, the idea of ta'awun alal birri wa taqwa, come and work together. Idea of this politics is that what you do is you train some leaders from your community and from other faith, mainly faith institutions, and they together develop an issue on which they want to campaign and put pressure on political parties to bring about change in their agenda. And they corner the candidates before elections and during their term to invite them to ask as to what is being done and put pressure to get things changed. And we achieved good results by doing this, like minimum wage in London. Citizens actually led the campaign. So it became part of the agenda of all political parties. And we got, for example, Heathrow Airport to agree to it. And as a result, many hundreds of Muslims who were working in menial jobs at the airport, they managed to get now minimum wage, higher wage, and they benefited. So this campaign was done by putting airport authorities on the spotlight. That, what are you doing? Why are you not paying minimum wage? Minimum wage has to be recognized. And now people are campaigning for higher minimum wage. So that's the kind of creating leadership means that in like ICC, I'm not sure whether you have a list of 15, 20 young people, young brothers, sisters, who could be part of a leadership group that you can develop over a period of 1, 2, 3 years. So there's a whole program. There's mentoring, so they get a mentor to look at how they are doing, what their plans are, and give them the programs, residential programs, and projects to do, responsibilities to carry forward. So this way they work as a group, but when they're individuals, it doesn't work very well. And that's a program which I think MLD, we used to take a batch of 30 people, and many of them are playing active role now in projects and organization. So it shouldn't be just about a weekend here, a Tarbiah program. It should be first interviewing people, because I was also, before joining Citizens, the head came all the way to Leicester and sat down and did one-to-one, very important, to one-to-one. So I need to speak to, for example, this young brother sitting here, and do proper one-to-one. How's life going? What are you thinking? What do you think about this issue, that issue? What do you want to do long-term in your life? And then recruit people who actually commit and take your commitment. You have to give your commitment that I will do this thing and I will be with you. So this I think, is the case for leadership development will bring young people, because you need to give them importance. You need to tell them they're very special, they're important, they're chosen one, they are being chosen. You're going to invest time and money with them, and then send them to spend time with the key people they need to spend time with, the scholars, give them the connections, the networks. Networks, connections are important, so this is important. The other one was on media, because a lot of the concern was raised about Islamophobia. And we need to address it. This is a major issue. So in UK, we've worked on, for example, getting a definition for Islamophobia. It's a very contentious point because society would not like to make Islam off topic. They cannot criticize, abuse Islam, say it's nonsense. So they don't want a definition of Islamophobia that will prevent them from restricting them from freedom of free speech, freedom of speech to be able to criticize Islam. So they've been very touchy about it. But alhamdulillah, through all parties parliamentary group, a definition of Islamophobia has been agreed by most parties, except Conservative Party, which is still holding ground for the right wing not to concede. But they are in a very difficult situation because it's been accepted by all parties. A very good definition which says Islamophobia is rooted in racism, the type of racism that targets Muslimness and expressions of Muslimness. Therefore, we have taken out academic discussion and criticism of Islam. That's perfectly, everybody's got the choice to make that. But any form of, it's recognized a form of racism that attacks a person or discriminates against a person in job, on the street, in culture, in society, which is to do with their faith, their being Muslim. So something that they practice, they do, and I think this kind of campaign to get definitions agreed is very important. And secondly, within that whole Islamophobia thing, the media contact, I've seen, I know I've done much Norwegian, but alhamdulillah, I have no ICC, mashallah, they do fantastic, but it must be way ahead, so I may be just preaching the converted already who are practitioners and experts in this. But media contact is very important. What we did in MC when I was Secretary General is to develop that contact by having like one-to-ones and also in small groups, a good light-hearted meetings, a dinner, a breakfast with some chief editors and their groups. So we went to Express Group, which is vehemently against Islam, a very Islamophobic media, but we had a good meeting with Express editors and so on. And just shared, look, guys, we need to sell our newspapers, so we need good stories. What you talk about is all common, is good, sensible stuff, so we need to. So they agreed, that this was kind of underplay, which came out in Levison Inquiry as well, which was an inquiry in media, a major inquiry about media bias and so on. But we also gave input into that. But media contact is important. Writers who write in media, befriending them, inviting them and changing their own perspective and perception, I think will make a difference. And of course then you have media monitoring unit and doing very systematic work. So there is good work of building positive relationship. There's also work of challenging where challenges have to be made. And there's a lot of scope for us to make challenges, to make media better, more friendly, more just and fair. And I think that would make a big difference if we can pick up some of these low-hanging fruits, as they call in English. They're easy things to do on youth development, engaging with wider society and media. I think it's 10 minutes are done now. Yes? You keep shaking your hand, it seems it's gone beyond now. So, may Allah bless you all. And once again, I must give credit to ICC. I meet so many people in the UK and always mention, we're talking about the fact that our brothers with movement ideas are running such a cutting edge, good center and organization here. So I think you're all very blessed, and we are blessed to have such an organization, and I would pray that for its continued growth and success. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Further assignments.
किसी का कोई सवाल हो नुहस पश्मो बरस्तिलो देखो फमा
अच्छा आप लोग नहीं करेंगे तो आपको पता होना चाहिए मैं तो करूंगा
बड़े नुहस पश्मो गुज़न फरमाए
जी
या
मैं पूछना चाहूँगा मुराद साहब से कि बहुत सारे एजेंडे से हटके सवाल हो कि यहाँ थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम शुरू हो चुका है कि जब हुकूमती इदारों से राब्ते होते हैं मुस्लिम ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के हुकूमती इदारों से जब राब्ते होते हैं मुस्लिम ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के तो उसमें कादयानी भी आ जाते हैं इसके बारे में अगर आपका कुछ तजुर्बा हो तो शुक्रिया
उर्दू में तो पूछा जा चुका है सवाल सो इंग्लिश में ये कि द क्वेश्चन इज अबाउट द एंगेजमेंट when we engage as Muslims, of course, Ahmadi group or Qadiani, but they would prefer to be known as Ahmadi, of course, because there is a difference between the two as well. So they can also be invited. So what do you do? How do you engage? तो ये sensitive issue है काफ़ी हमारे माशरे के लिए इसलिए कि हमारा माशरा हमें भी give us a lot of rights based on the fact that there's equal opportunities and equal rights for all faiths. But we have, like this interfaith network in UK, an issue came up about why don't you bring or involve Ahmadis. And we were able to hold our ground on the basis that there are Ghali or extreme Christian groups as well, who mainstream churches do not recognize as Christian, and they would under no circumstances would like to have them. So we try to draw parallel that, you know, if somebody takes your identity and conflates your identity, who is not recognized by the mainstream, then we cannot actually accept that. But we can accept them as not as part of Muslim community, Muslim faith. And we got agreement from all Muslim faith groups that help. So that can help. But that doesn't mean you exclude them completely. We have no problem. We made our statement very clear to the government. We have no problem for denying them any of the rights as citizens of Britain. But we have reservation about them accepted as Muslims. And vice versa, they don't accept us as Muslims either, unless we accept their faith. So we did not say we were the only guilty party here, but actually they themselves do not recognize us as Muslims if we do not accept that third article of faith, which they demand, that the Mirza Ghulam Ahmad should be accepted as Messiah, Prophet, whatever, but we don't accept him as anything. So we only accept those who believe in the two articles of faith, that is believing in Allah as the only God and Creator, the Tawheed, and the other is the finality of prophethood and acceptance of Prophet Muhammad as the last prophet. So that's the way we have approached the subject. It's a sensitive subject, different council, different places, but I think we should avoid completely engaging where it is a broad forum and everybody can come.
Are noen andre?
I just have a comment. I know that there are a lot of NGOs that have campaigns, but basically when we look at the campaigns material that they have, it is either on LGBTIQ or it's on climate these days. Climate strike is really in. But unfortunately the Muslim NGOs that we have, they usually do the charity work only, and they are not doing any sort of advocacy work. So maybe engaging with them could be an idea, that how to engage them in advocacy and engaging young people in campaigns, as you have suggested that, you know, it's very important to have campaigns focusing on the policymakers. So that is like a suggestion that could be taken into consideration, that how we can use the few Islamic NGOs that we have over here that are only doing charity work, but then they can also engage in policy advocacy. That's just a suggestion.
It's a good suggestion. I think advocacy is the process in these countries that we can participate in without any issues as such, and we should be good at it. It's an art, it's a science, it needs to be learned. It's about networking, trust building, relationship building, and so on. And through that, I think we can move forward parts of our agenda. It's never ideal, I think, but we should make gains where we can, inshallah.
Yeah, my question is that how do you see that how important it is to educate our imams here in Norway in cooperation with university language and university standards?
It is a good question.
Actually, there must be a cooperation in between masjid organization, for example, ICC, and education department of the commune for first step. For example, we can start with kindergarten, then we can start with first school, and then high school, and then we can go to university. But we have few examples in USA as well, that chaplaincy, they are working in several parts of the world, in Europe as well, I think. So where imams, they can play their role in universities. And the standard, obviously they will not be going to accept the standard of imams as their own professors, as their own faculty. But if we are going to discuss with them, like we can make a plan for 5 years, we can make a plan for 10 years plan. And in that 10 years or 5 years plan, if we are going to cooperate with each other, we have some resource. And a lot of Muslims, they are also going to university, so we can start some Arabic, for example, Arabic, bachelors in Arabic or bachelors in a master's in Arabic. These are the things that we can provide them as kind of resource. So if we will be going to start these types of thing with the university, we can have some kind of cooperation. But obviously, we need to have those resources which can provide these things in Norwegian language. So we have few brothers here. They have also the opportunity to start to learn Norwegian language. And I would say that if we are going to make the plan for next 5 and 10 years, these people, those who are sitting here, why don't we create some kind of educational institutions that after 5 and 10 years, we will be going to have imams from our own masjid. And they will be going to serve in university. So this will be our responsibility as well, that we can establish institution here in ICC, and after 5 or 10 years, if we have some imams, they will be going to play the role, inshallah, in university. So this will be long-term planning. So if we are going to write something now, maybe we will get the result after 5 or 10 years.
Inshallah, Wazira min ahli
Det har snakket om imamutdanning i universitetet her i Oslo. Så kanskje det greit at imam Hamid Ali Faruk svarer litt på det, fordi han har vært med på den prosessen og uttalt seg.
Can I also on just on imam issue, UK has very large Darul Ulooms, about 5 or 6, where they do 5 years Dars Nizami and Alamiya course, and they come out of this institution. At the Islamic Foundation, what we realized is that their qualification of 5 years study is not recognized at all by the mainstream system. So they are quite often parents actually send them also not to become imams as it were, but just to protect them from the evils of society. To keep them 5 years in check, basically. So it's a more like a checking system for the peace of our mind, that my kid is an imam, he is actually in Darul Uloom, so he's safe. But there's no vision that I want really my kid to become leader of the community as such. And quite often, there's not enough jobs for them. They're producing 50 of these who've done Dars Nizami, been in this environment where they're running an archaic curriculum, and they come out, and they unfortunately did not have many opportunities. So what alhamdulillah we have done is we have talked to mainstream university to recognize their 5 years as 1 year of a mainstream bachelor's degree. And then they come to Marfin Institute, and in 2 years, half the fee, mainstream fee is about 9,000, ours about 5, they get a BA. And the first degree is actually a passport to many professions. Because most professions, they ask for just a degree, and you can get into teaching, PGCA, postgraduate certificates, and professional diplomas. So they are now branching out to many fields with that grounding in Islam, which is very, very useful. And some of them pursuing MA and PhD. I met, for example, one of our star students 3 days ago. He started MA doing PhD. They've gone abroad. And not only that, we have had young professionals, and this is very important. We talked about young people yesterday. Young professionals who did science, one optician, and we had a very good doctor who was a medical doctor, but his interest grew in Islam. So he left his medicine. He used to only do 2 days clinic, because our courses can be done over 2 days of classes. Then he did BA with us. And now he's gone to Jordan for learning Arabic, 2 more years. But you can imagine when this person comes in, who's done medicine, who's a doctor, who knows science and everything else, and has the grounding in Arabic, has the Islamic ulum, that he can actually address many of the complex questions young people have to ask. And that's why I think imams should also do, because we live in a scientific civilization, basic course in science as well. Because sometimes I hear things, imams who haven't got what is very basic common sense of science. I think that should be there as well, inshallah.
I have one.
Hamid bhai kudra jawab de.
This same question you have also.
We talked about lack of communication and interaction with Norwegian society yesterday, and it creates a big distance between us and the general society. there are many people who just name that Muslims cannot greet Norwegian people happy Christmas or to you. How far it is, because it is very, very, harmful when we talk about integration. It leads to segregation. So how to react when we say happy birthday and happy Christmas?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Først og fremst når det gjelder imamutdanning, jeg har en annen perspektiv, og jeg oppfordrer våre ungdommer som sitter her å ta denne utdanningen fra et sted i Europa, for eksempel fra Storbritannia, eller hvis de vil reise til for eksempel Egypt eller Marokko eller på et annet sted. Det er helt greit for dem å reise og få utdanning fra steder der finnes islamske studier. Det er ikke mulig for oss her i Norge å etablere islamske studier slik at vi har imamer her i Norge. Vi har snakket dette temaet med Oddbjørn på Universitetet i Oslo, han er professor, og han sa at det er vanskelig for dem å begynne med imamutdanning. De underviser ikke imamer, eller de har ingen studie for imamer, for å etablere imamer. Det er kun noen emner om islam som de underviser. De har ikke kapasitet, og de kan ikke ha for eksempel imamer som er lærde her i Norge som lærere eller lærde på universitet. Det er en lang prosess, og de trenger godkjennelse fra administrasjon, og det er ikke mulig for dem. Hvis de har ikke islamske lærde som underviser islam, de kan ikke ha imamutdanning. Det er ikke kristne lærde som kan ha for eksempel islamsk utdanning her i Norge. Så derfor det er ikke mulig foreløpig å ha imamutdanning her i Norge. ICC har ikke kapasitet å ha slike imamutdanning. Vi kan lage små kurser eller for eksempel 2 or 3 års studier, men for å ha en godt utdannet imam, det er ikke mulig å ha fra Norge. Det er bedre hvis våre ungdommer som har vært her i Norge, og de har fullført videregående, eller for eksempel de som jobber, Bror Hamza, Zemran, Arshad og andre, de har utdannet, og de tar 2 år pause eller 3 år pause, og reiser til et sted og får grunnleggende ting og utdanning fra en islamisk universitet, og kommer tilbake og jobber med de oppgavene som vi trenger å jobbe for. Fordi hvis vi henter imamer fra muslimske samfunn, de kommer med mentalitet der de er levd med. Derfor vi har slike problemer at de vil formidle budskapet som de har lært i deres land. Så for eksempel å si god jul til kristne, det er ikke akseptabelt i Pakistan, og det er ikke praksis. Men her det er veldig på en måte annerledes. Så de gutta som har bodd her, de ungdommer som har lært her, og de har vært her lenge siden, hvis de reiser til et sted og lærer og blir imam og kommer tilbake, da blir det kanskje lettere for oss å ha solutions of the problems we are discussing now.
Vi har veldig knapp tid. Vi har fått flere spørsmål fra kvinner, men tar vi siste spørsmål fra menn, og det er Bror Arshad. Og så setter vi strek på det.
अभी जिस तरह मौलाना साहब ने भी बताया कि यहाँ पे यूनिवर्सिटी में सब्जेक्ट्स मौजूद हैं, अरबिक पढ़ सकते हैं, इस्लामिक स्टडीज़ के सिंगल सब्जेक्ट्स हैं। मेरे ख्याल के मुताबिक इशू ये नहीं है। अगर हम इमाम एजुकेशन बना भी दें तो 1 साल में कितने इमाम हम बना देंगे, और वो इमाम के इमाम बनने के बाद फिर क्या करेंगे? हमारे पास इतनी मसाजिद नहीं है उनको जॉब देने के लिए, तो हमें थोड़ा सा ब्रॉडर सोचना पड़ेगा, वाइडर सोचना पड़ेगा कि जिस तरह आप लोगों ने बात की कि एक बेस बने। और फिर भी अगर मैं बात करूं अगली बात कि कितने वालिदैन हैं जो अपने बच्चों को इमाम बनाना चाहते हैं, इशू जो है सर्विस साइड पे नहीं है। सर्विस देने के लिए जो है बहुत सारी पॉसिबिलिटीज़ मौजूद हैं। इशू जो है हमारे फैमिली बेस पे है कि हम अपने बच्चों को उस तरफ भेजने के लिए तैयार हैं। अभी भी पॉसिबिलिटीज़ हैं, मुसलमान बच्चे नहीं लेते, ज़्यादा नन मुसलमान जो हैं वो यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में जाके इस्लामिक स्टडीज़ कर रहे हैं, मुसलमान बहुत कम हैं। तो इशू जो है हम हमेशा उस लोगों पे बात छोड़ के हुकूमत पे बात डाल के बात खत्म कर देते हैं कि ये पॉसिबिलिटीज़ नहीं है. आई थिंक वी हैव लॉट ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ इन नॉर्वे एंड पीपल. हुमाम इज़ इन मोरक्को नाउ, फारूक साहब का बेटा. तो पॉसिबिलिटीज़ बहुत हैं लेकिन और अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ भी बहुत हैं. आई थिंक कि हमें अपने घरों में देखना पड़ेगा, अपने मोहल्ले में देखना पड़ेगा कि हाउ विलिंग वी आर टू गो दिस पाथ. थैंक यू.
So anyhow there is a question that बच्चों में leadership qualities कैसे उजागर की जाए, how we can like cultivate leadership qualities in.
ऊपर जाके वही करेंगे.
हाँ, वो ऊपर जाके वही करेंगे. तो इंशाल्लाह ऊपर अभी एक लेक्चर है यूथ लीडरशिप के ऊपर, तो उनको भेज दें. और अगर जो नहीं भी हैं यूथ को मस्जिद में कैसे लाएं जो नहीं आते. यूथ they have their own attractions, you know, they want to go to play football, they want to have their own priorities. So we need to like make in a way that if some people they are working in dawah, they have to have very good contact with youth. If these youth they are going to play football, a dai must go with them to play football with them. So if he will be going to have some kind of sharing with them, if he will be having friendship with these youth, ultimately in next step they will come to masjid. And we need to have some da'wah network in the masjid, inshallah, and hopefully this will be very helpful. We have our youth center on upstairs, and you must have to become a role model. Parents has to become a role model. Now, I know some of the parents, they are coming here with their youngsters and with their children here in the masjid. So if you will become a role model, inshallah, your children will come to masjid. But anyhow, masjid must have to think about to arrange some kind of activities outside of the masjid. For example, youth camp outside of the masjid, summer camp outside of the masjid, and football and sports events. So inshallah.
Yes, I would just add one more thing, and I think somebody drew my attention. I think this was practiced by someone. We normally bring young people to the mosque to preach, to teach, to speak and talk to them. But how about organizing a session just to listen to them and learning to listen to them? By listening, you will get a lot of young people who want to basically talk. They want someone to listen. So I think the art of listening is very important. It's part of the training. And someone did this and was telling me how great the response was. And I've heard young people saying, you know, there was a very favorite family member of ours, and we said, why? A lot of young people like him very much. And he didn't say much. He didn't always comment, criticize, you didn't. The reason why he was so popular was because he was good in listening. He would sit and listen to you. And then if he said something, because the person is already offloaded, so the person is already empty, then you can fill something in, inshallah.
मैं सवाल पूछ लूँ एक तो कल एक काम दिया था सब लोगों को. I have given a work to everyone yesterday. Who has done the job? जी आपने
जी ये जो प्रोग्राम है ना, ये जो अरकान है ना उनके लिए है.
जी
जो अरकान नहीं है उनको हम कैसे आपने कहा था एक आदमी साथ
जी अब तो ये तो वक्त गुजर गया. अब आप कल आपने ही पूछना था. मैंने काम दिया था कि जिसकी किसी से अगर कोई रिलेशनशिप इश्यूज हैं, आपने कल जाके फ़ोन कॉल करना है, या तो माफ़ी मांगनी है या किसी को माफ़ करना है. किसी ने ये काम किया? किसी ने ये काम किया?
हम किसी से नाराज नहीं है, इधर सारे हैप्पी हैं.
ये नहीं, दूसरा तरीका यही था.
अपने दिल की बात की, अपने दिल साफ कर.
दूसरा नहीं, हम तो रोज अपनी बेगम से माफी मांगते
सही साहब का कहना है कि ये इसमें शामिल नहीं है कि बेगम से रोज़ माफ़ी मांगी जाए. ये दूसरों से माफ़ी मांगनी थी. वी हैव नो थी प्रेस वी deler inn i grupper. ग्रुप ने बड़ी फैल गया. जो साथी इस वक्त हाल के अंदर मौजूद हैं उनसे गुजारिश है कि अपनी नशिस्तों पे तशरीफ़ रखें. ابھی تھوڑی دیر میں خواتین بھی ہال کے اندر پہنچنے والی ہیں، تو انشاءاللہ بقیہ کا پروگرام بڑا مختصر ہے. اس پروگرام کے اندر آج کی ایویلویٹنگ چند اعلانات اور دعا، اور اس کے بعد انشاءاللہ اس پروگرام کا ہم اختتام کریں گے. اور ہماری خواہش ہے کہ ہم 2 بجے، چونکہ نماز عصر ہے، تو نماز عصر پہ یہ پروگرام مکمل طور پہ ختم ہو جائے گا. بہت شکریہ. اب ذرا پروگرام جو ہے وہ مکس ہی چلے گا. اور میں انتہائی محترم فاروق مراد صاحب سے گزارش کرتا ہوں. ہم دعا کرتے ہیں کہ اللہ جل شانہ ہمارے آنے والے مہمانوں کی عزت میں، ان کے جان اور مال کے اندر اضافہ فرمائے، اور انہیں اللہ جل شانہ اسی طرح جو ہے مختلف جگہوں پہ اپنا دین کے کام کو کرنے میں ان کے لیے آسانی پیدا کریں. فرقان بھائی سویڈن سے بارہا دفعہ آئے ہیں، ہمارے ان سے بڑا موٹیویٹ بھی ہیں الحمدللہ. اور یہ ہماری خواہش بھی ہے کہ وہ جب بھی آتے ہیں تو ہمارے لیے جو ہے نیا حوصلہ اور نیا جذبے کے ساتھ ہمارے نوجوان ہمارے ساتھ شامل ہوتے ہیں. میری گزارش ہے محترم فرقان بھائی سے، محمد فرقان، کہ وہ آئیں اور حامد علی فاروق صاحب سے یہ گفٹ وصول کریں. اسی طرح ہمارے جو خواتین مہمان ہیں ہم ان کے بھی بڑے شکر گزار ہیں. اور ہماری ناظمہ اس وقت یہاں حال میں موجود ہیں، تو میری گزارش ہے کہ ایمن طارق صاحبہ وہ تشریف لائیں اور اپنا گفٹ جو ہے وہ وصول کریں. میں اپنی دوسری محترم مہمان محترمہ عابدہ اشرف صاحبہ سے گزارش کرتا ہوں کہ وہ تشریف لائیں اور یہ چھوٹا سا گفٹ جو ہے وہ ناظمہ سے وصول فرمائیں. بہت شکریہ جی. اسی طرح ہمارے پاس ڈنمارک سے جو ہے وہ 5 ہماری بیٹیاں جو ہیں وہ تشریف لائی ہیں. سسٹر فرح، تو ان کے لیے جو بہترین گفٹ ہو سکتا ہے وہ قرآن مجید ہے. تو یہ قرآن مجید، تو ہم نے اپنی بیٹیوں کے لیے یہ قرآن مجید جو نارویجن میں جس کا ترجمہ ہے، تو میری گزارش ہے کہ آپ یہ جو قرآن کا بہترین تحفہ ہے وہ اپنی بیٹیوں کو دیں. الحمدللہ آج سے کچھ عرصہ پہلے ہم نے EMC یورپین مسلم کونسل کے نام سے ایک تنظیم قائم کی اپنے برادرز تنظیموں کے نام کے تعاون سے. تو یہ تنظیم جو ہے اس وقت ڈنمارک، ناروے، سویڈن، UK، اٹلی، یونان، ان سارے ممالک کے اندر ہماری جو ہے یہ تنظیم موجود ہے. اور اس کے سربراہ جو ہیں وہ محترم اخلاق بھائی ہیں. اخلاق بھائی جو ہیں EMC کے صدر ہیں، اور EMC جو خواتین ہیں ان کی صدر سمینہ سعیدہ رضوان ہیں. تو یہ خواتین جو ہے اسی طرح اپنے رابط میں رہتی ہیں. یہ بچیاں بھی جو ہیں وہ اسی ربط کے ذریعے آئی ہیں. تو آئندہ ہماری یہ کوشش ہوگی کہ ہمارا یہ جو ہے ایک دوسرے ممالک کے اندر جانا اور ایک دوسرے سے سیکھنے کا جو عمل ہے اس کو ہم جاری رکھیں. وہ مردوں کے اندر بھی ہے، وہ خواتین کے اندر بھی ہے. تو انشاءاللہ اس عمل کو ہم جو ہے وہ بہتر کریں گے.
بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. ہمارے پاس تقریباً 5 منٹ ہیں، تو اس میں ہم اختتامی دعا کریں گے. جزاکم اللہ خیر. یا اشرف میں دعا. الحمد للہ رب العالمین والصلاة والسلام علی سید الانبیاء واشرف المرسلین محمد وعلی آلہ واصحابہ اجمعین. ربنا آتنا فی الدنیا حسنہ وفی الآخرۃ حسنہ وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. یا رب کریم ہماری یہاں پہ اس حاضری کو اپنی بارگاہ میں شرف قبولیت عطا فرما. یا رب کریم ہم سب کو دین کے ساتھ وابستگی نصیب فرما. یا رب کریم ہم سب کو صحیح معنوں میں سچا اور مخلص مسلمان بننے کی توفیق عطا فرما. یا رب کریم ہم سب کو اچھا اخلاق اور کردار عطا فرما. ہم سب کو سچ بولنے، امانت کا لحاظ رکھنے، وعدے کا لحاظ رکھنے، اپنے ایمان کی حفاظت کرنے کی توفیق عطا فرما. یا رب کریم ہم سب کو جھوٹ سے، ریا سے، فحش سے،
دوسروں کے بارے میں عیب بیان کرنے سے، غیبت سے، چغلی سے، حسد سے، ہر قسم کی بری بیماری سے محفوظ فرما۔ یا رب کریم ہمارے گھروں میں خیر و برکت عطا فرما، جس گھر میں کوئی بھی پریشانی و مشکل ہے اسے اپنی رحمت سے دور فرما۔ یا رب کریم جن بیماروں کا ذکر کیا گیا یا جن کا نہیں کیا جا سکا، سب کو اپنی رحمت سے، اپنے کرم سے مکمل صحت عطا فرما۔ یا رب کریم ہمارے سینٹر سے وابستہ جتنے اہل ایمان دنیا سے چلے گئے یا دنیا میں جہاں کہیں جو بھی اہل ایمان دنیا سے چلا گیا اس کے لیے دعا گو ہے، اس کی مغفرت فرما، جنت الفردوس میں اعلی علیین میں جگہ عطا فرما۔ یا رب کریم ہم سب کو اپنے تمام مرحومین کے ساتھ قیامت کے دن حضور علیہ الصلوۃ والسلام کی شفاعت نصیب فرما۔ یا رب کریم اس سینٹر کے ساتھ جو لوگ جس انداز میں وابستہ ہیں ان کو بہترین بدلہ اور اجر عطا فرما۔ یا رب کریم ان کے اوقات کے اندر برکت پیدا فرما۔ یا رب کریم اس سینٹر کو دین کی دعوت پھیلانے کا ذریعہ بنا۔ یا رب کریم اس سینٹر کو ہمارے ایمان کی حفاظت کا ذریعہ بنا، ہماری اصلاح کا ذریعہ بنا اور ہماری نوجوان نسل کی اصلاح کی ذریعہ بنا۔ ربنا آمنا فاغفر لنا وارحمنا وانت خیر الراحمین۔ سبحان ربک رب العزة عما یصفون وسلام علی المرسلین والحمد للہ رب العالمین۔